Greetings everybody. So if you've been watching this channel for a while now, you may recall that in 2015 I made a video called Pepsi Blue Still Exists in the Philippines. I found Pepsi Blue at a 7-Eleven, I got it from the fountain, and I did a review of it. It is March of 2015 right now, and I can verify right now that Pepsi Blue does exist. And let's see what it tastes like though. It's still gross. For those who have been living under a rock, Pepsi Blue is from the early aughts, like 2002 or something.
Hi, this is Britney Spears wishing you a happy Pepsi Blue Christmas.
It was a big deal. It was everywhere. I had it a lot. I thought it was okay. And it did not last very long. It was not very popular, and also the dye in it was kind of controversial. It had blue 1 in it, according to Wikipedia, which is not the best thing that you should be putting in your body. But regardless, that was discontinued in North America, but continued to live on in Southeast Asia.
Hi Vietnam, let's try Pepsi Blue now.
So you could still get it in the Philippines, you could still get it in Indonesia, you could still get it in Malaysia. So I made my review in the Philippines, and I was kind of excited about it, to find something that had been discontinued in the US but available in the Philippines was just like cool to me. So I smuggled some home. It was only available in the fountain at 7-Elevens, but I filled up a bottle and I took that home back to New York with me. Wow, I have no life. When I got to New York, I decided to make another video comparing Pepsi Blue with Mountain Blue Voltage, because a lot of people were saying online that Mountain Blue Voltage tasted exactly like Pepsi Blue. Turns out, it doesn't. Is nothing like it. Myth busted. So I thought that was the end of it, but then I was gifted a can of Pepsi Blue, so not something from the fountain, but something from the can that was produced in Indonesia, and I reviewed that as well. And that, interestingly enough, was different than the Pepsi Blue I got from the fountain. It didn't taste exactly the same. It tasted more like Pepsi, less like blue. No. It's not very berry tasting. This is like 80% Pepsi and like 20% like blue raspberry taste. And like the one in the fountain in the Philippines was a little bit more berry tasting. I made that review in 2016, and I figured that was the end of it. Pepsi Blue still exists in Southeast Asia, it doesn't exist here, end of story. But as some of you may know, they brought it back. Yeah, they brought back Pepsi Blue to North America, and then they discontinued it again. And finding Pepsi Blue, I guess, was actually kind of a difficult thing, because people were going in, buying it all up, and then selling it on eBay. Which, by the way, is, if you want to try Pepsi Blue, that's the only way to really do it right now. Thriving sellers on eBay selling 6 packs of Pepsi Blue for $20. But I managed to find this at a pizza place, very randomly. They had some, like, in their cooler, so I didn't have to spend $20 for this, thankfully. As you can see there, this still has blue number 1 in it. So all of those delicious, yummy chemicals that you remember, still in the bottle. I know I'm a little late to the game here. There's like 1,000 different YouTube videos of people trying this particular product, but I can guarantee you that not too many of them would be able to have, like, at least within a decade recall of what the Filipino Pepsi Blue tastes like and the Indonesian Pepsi Blue tastes like compared to this one. So that's what I have to offer. And oh yeah, you might notice that some of this is missing. That's because my girlfriend took a sip of it. I have not had this yet. The smell on this is interesting. It's like Pepsi, but also a blue raspberry kind of smell. Maybe a little bit like blueberry cotton candy sort of smell. It's a bit different. The Indonesian Pepsi Blue, that one was more of a Pepsi taste. I was a little bit confused because that one was mostly Pepsi taste, to the point where I commented that if someone were to give me a glass of this and I had like a blindfold on, I would just assume it was Pepsi. There was like a bit of a berry flavor, but it was mostly Pepsi. The one that I had in the Philippines, that one, the initial taste was like that, but then the aftertaste had more of a berry flavor. So like on the lips, it was like Pepsi, but then the aftertaste was more like blue raspberry. This one is neither of those. It's kind of like a little bit of both. Like, you definitely do get the Pepsi taste in there, but the initial taste definitely has that blue raspberry flavor, which honestly is more how I remember it when I was a kid. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is what Pepsi Blue tastes like actually what it tastes like from, the early 2000s, and that the ones that I had in the Philippines and in Indonesia, or at least the one that was made in Indonesia, those ones are a different recipe, I think. It's hard for me to recall all of these different things because it's been so many years, but from watching my videos back, this doesn't really match up to the flavor of the Pepsi Blue that I had in the Philippines and the Pepsi Blue that was made in Indonesia. This matches up more to the Pepsi Blue that I had when I was a teenager.
Hey! Crank it up! Pepsi Blue, a fusion of berries with a splash of cola. Pepsi Blue, it's a blue thing.
So, I think that's it. I think there is nothing else I could possibly say about Pepsi Blue. This has been pretty cool, honestly. This has been a cool experience. I'm not so big on doing soda reviews. There are a lot of YouTubers that do that, but this is one that I kind of randomly stuck with and ended up coming across it in many different forms, which is random, but an interesting experience. And I think this is a cool way to bring it back full circle, because I'm fairly certain that this is actually the same recipe as the one that I had when I was a kid. And it's interesting that I think it's different. Who knows, maybe 10 years from now, I'm gonna be walking through a supermarket in the Pitcairn Islands, and I'm gonna see Pepsi Blue in injectable form on the shelf and be like, okay, it's time for another chapter, guys, more Pepsi Blue. But until that happens, I think this is the end. So I hope you enjoyed this stunning conclusion to my adventures finding Pepsi Blue. I didn't really intend to have an adventure to find Pepsi Blue, but it ended up happening anyway. So hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye-bye. I would like to give a very big shout out to AltPod and Smarter Every Day. They are mega patrons over on patreon.com. Patreon is how I manage to keep this channel going, so if you enjoy what I've been doing, take a look at the link in the description below. I also sell t-shirts. This is one of them. This is the Mandrake Root shirt, which is available on my website. Link to that in the description as well. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.